time now on the show where we talk about the things we can't wait to see, and there are plenty of things we can't wait to see this weekend. A great slate of games, as previously mentioned. Charean, as always, you get to go first. What is the first thing you can't wait to see come Sunday?
I want to see if Brian Flores, and you alluded to it, can he slow down that Chiefs offense? They're not going to stop it. He knows that because they're not going to get to use 14 defenders. They're only going to have 11 out there. The Dolphins defense has been very good this year. They're second in scoring defense, but the Chiefs are second in scoring offense. So it's a classic battle. But you talked about Flores with the Patriots. He was the defensive coordinator, beat the Chiefs twice that season. 43-40 in the regular season and 37-31 in the AFC Championship game in overtime. High-scoring games. So I think, as you said earlier, the Dolphins are going to have to score a lot of points in that game to keep up with the Chiefs, and I think that's going to be very difficult. But either that or the Dolphins are going to have to force some turnovers. But it's a very interesting, I think, matchup between that Chiefs offense and that Dolphins defense.
Yeah, and I don't know that the Dolphins have the offense to outscore the Kansas City offense, especially in light of a very balanced Kansas City defense. We saw a couple of interceptions from Tyrann Mathieu when the Chiefs beat the Broncos on Sunday night. They can slow down the run. They can slow down the pass. And I just don't think that the Dolphins offense is prolific enough to match whatever it is that the Dolphins defense can hold the Chiefs offense to. First one for me. Can the Minnesota Vikings, who will be going into a hot environment in Tampa Bay, probably being required to wear their purple jerseys to soak up the rays of the sun? It's going to be sunny. It's going to be 80 degrees. The Buccaneers coming off of a bye week. The Vikings have never beaten Tom Brady, and the Vikings, I don't think, match up very well with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. But the season is on the line. This is a de facto playoff game for the Vikings. They're 6-6. They lose this one, they're done. And this is their opportunity to leapfrog the Buccaneers for the 6th seed, at least for now, because the Bucs are 7-5. A Vikings win would make both of them 7-6 and give Minnesota the tiebreaker. But between the receivers that Tom Brady has at his disposal, the overmatched secondary the Vikings have, specifically at corner, and the inability to put heat up the middle, that's how you harass and harangue Tom Brady, is with heat up the middle. It's going to be hard to do, and it's a tall order. I want to see if the Vikings can at least keep it close, keep it interesting. They need their run game to fire on all cylinders. The Tampa Bay rush defense, however, is pretty good. This one, to me, could get ugly quickly, and the Buccaneers need a resounding win to get that magic back that they had before they lost 3 of their last 4 games, Charean. They're making a stretch run where they need to win. They need to get to the playoffs. They need to vindicate everything they've done this year to go all in with Tom Brady. And we're going to find out whether or not they're ready to make a big push come Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer's done it before, Mike. In 2013, he was the Bengals defensive coordinator when they had Tom Brady had one of his worst games ever. So he's done it before, and this defense has had some injuries. We know it's going to be tough. Mike Evans is going to play despite that hamstring injury, and they need to get the ball to Mike Evans more than what they have. He has been good in the red zone. But, yeah, and to me, it's an interesting matchup, as you said, because the Vikings need to win to stay in that playoff hunt. Every loss now is just so magnified for those teams that are fighting for those last couple of wild card spots.
Were you covering the Buccaneers in 98?
Yes, 99 was my last season.
1998 was when Randy Moss was a rookie. The only loss for the Vikings that year was at Tampa Bay. I guess there would be some poetry to it if Justin Jefferson, who is as spectacular, not without the touchdowns, but from the yardage standpoint as Moss was, if they could reverse that this year, it would be a huge win for the Vikings. I don't think they can pull it off, but we'll see what happens. All right, what's next on your list?
My list is Andy Dalton returns to Cincinnati, and I want to see how the few fans that are there and how the team really honors Andy Dalton, because he was very good for them. You know, he showed up after the Carson Palmer has retired, unretired, traded, all of that happened, and he led them to the playoffs 5 times in his first 5 seasons, and that's significant in Cincinnati. We know their history of not making the playoffs. We know what they've been since then. He was very good in Cincinnati in those first 5 seasons. So I have a feeling that they'll honor him very well. And this wasn't supposed to be a game that he was going to play. It was supposed to be Joe Burrow versus Dak Prescott. Both of those quarterbacks are out for the season. So now we have Brandon Allen versus Andy Dalton. The only reason to watch this game is the pregame, just to see how that goes with Andy Dalton. After that, I don't know if there's much reason to turn on this game, Mike.
3-9 versus 2-9-1.
Yeah.
Both teams playing for pride or draft positioning. And frankly, at this point, go with the draft positioning. Don't try to win these games. Get a higher spot in the draft order and get a better player to try to make your bad team better as quickly as possible. I'm looking at another quarterback potential revenge game, although it's been a while since Alex Smith last played for the 49ers. That was the team that drafted him back in 2005. He was there through 2012. It seemed like he had a different offensive coordinator every year. He finally hit his stride in 2011, took the 49ers to the NFC Championship game, and then suffered a concussion in 2012. You're not supposed to lose your job via an injury, but that's how he lost his job. Colin Kaepernick came in, and Kaepernick grabbed the job, and they traded Alex Smith to the Chiefs after that, and now Alex Smith gets a chance to go to a stadium where he never played when he was with the 49ers, but still, it's at the 49ers, and it's an impactful game. This is another one of those games where if you would look at just the game without any understanding of the broader circumstances, you'd see 5-7 49ers, 5-7 Washington, you say, who cares? Well, this is the opportunity for the 49ers to make a late kick and maybe steal a playoff spot, and Washington tied for first place in the NFC East. This is a sneaky great game, and Alex Smith has been spectacular. Someone suggested to me today, not only should he win the Comeback Player of the Award unanimously, Charean, they should name it after him, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Mike, for what he's come back from. 17 surgeries, nearly lost his life, nearly lost his leg, and now here he is doing what he's doing for Washington again. And, you know, he's not just winning the award for coming back and stepping onto the field. I mean, he's playing at a high level. He had back-to-back 300-yard games. He had never done that in his career, had a career-high passing yards. I think it was 389. It was just under 400 this year. He's been very good for Washington. I know you look at his stats and you go, he's had 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, not that good. But he just seems to be getting better. And, you know, he didn't miss a whole entire season and came back. And I just think every week he gets better. That running game certainly has helped with Antonio Gibson and the other guys they have had there running the football. And I know Gibson's banged up right now. But they have been very good on offense since he's been in there, and I do think he should be their quarterback of the future. I think they found that guy in Alex Smith if he wants to continue to play after this season. But you go back to when they first drafted him, Mike, in San Francisco. They had their choice, Aaron Rodgers or Alex Smith, and they chose Alex Smith. And it's hard to believe that it's been 14 seasons that he's been in this league, and he certainly hasn't been Aaron Rodgers, but he's been a very good quarterback in his career since he left San Francisco.
Yeah, he's been spectacular overall, and relative to plenty of other quarterbacks who have come and gone since 2005. And the comeback that we saw, the resilience, overcoming the adversity, we've never seen anything like it in sports, not just football, but in any sport. All right, one more, Charean. What are you looking forward to seeing on Sunday?
Well, Mike, last week we wanted to see if the Browns could beat a team with a winning record. They did that against the Titans, look very good. And now they have a chance to enact revenge against the Baltimore Ravens, who they lost to 38-6 in the season opener, their worst loss of this season. We thought they were going to be the same old Browns. They're not the same old Browns. And you know what? I think their offense has proved us right, Mike, that they are a better offense without Odell Beckham in it. 4 touchdown passes from Baker Mayfield last week. They all went to different receivers. 9 different receivers caught passes, not counting Baker Mayfield's catch. They've been very good without Odell Beckham on offense.
Yeah, it's run the ball and use that running game to set up the passing game. The key, though, is the pass rush. The Titans didn't have a great one. It made it easier for Baker Mayfield. What will the Ravens do by way of bringing heat on Baker Mayfield? And will he have a game like he did on Sunday, or will it be a lot worse than that?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.